Okay everyone, this is Leon and I'm gonna talk you through just a few of the things that we tried that eventually helped us get Leon into a down. So what I always start out doing first is if they're comfortable on an elevated surface, I will begin there. If not, I just start on the ground. But if a dog already knows a sit, a lot of times I'll get them in a sit to start with, and then I start rewarding them. As you can see, I'm rewarding his head down just a little bit, and if he picks his butt up, then I put him back into a sit and start again. And instead of just taking the treat all the way to the ground and then rewarding him for going into a down, with him I can see that he's having a little bit of a hard time. Some dogs you can do that. You can just take the treat to the ground and they'll follow it all the way to the ground. With him, anytime his head goes down, his little hiney wants to go up. So I had to reward him for just little pieces of lowering his head while he's keeping his butt on the ground. And you can see now he's starting to keep his butt on the ground even when he's lowering his head down. So we've made a little bit of progress, even though it doesn't really look like much. And now a lot of times I will start guiding with my hand, just like gentle pressure. I don't push hard. I just have like gentle pressure on the shoulder blades to kind of encourage them to go down. And sometimes that'll help dogs kind of give in and like settle into a down. With Leon, it doesn't care. He doesn't care. It doesn't faze him a bit. If anything, it kind of causes him to stay more upright and less likely to follow that treat hand down. So that did not work with him. I'm going to speed up some of this just because it's repetitive, and I think you'll still get the idea even when it's on a little bit of a faster speed, and then I'll slow it down again when we start the next exercise to explain. Okay, this next bit is something that I will try with some dogs, is if you can get them going under something, and I oftentimes will use my legs, sometimes I'll use a chair, but if you can get them comfortable enough that they'll push their head in underneath your leg, then that puts their elbows down on the ground, and you can start marking and rewarding for their elbows going on the ground. And at this point, I don't worry about the butt staying up. I'm just like marking and reinforcing the elbows. Eventually, their booty will go down as they settle in and relax into it. But as you can see, this also did not work for him. He was kind of hesitant to put his head underneath my leg, which is totally fine. So here I just give it a try again, luring him from a sit to a down, and that still does not work. So the next thing I do is I go and I get a soft bed. Sometimes if we move our dogs onto something like soft, they are more likely to lay down. So that's something that we give a try, and that's actually how we were able to get him to start going into that down. And if you'll notice, I feed him several handfuls of food when he finally does go into that down before I toss a treat away to reset him. And then when he goes into the down again, I feed him quite a bit in position just because I want to have like a heavy reinforcement history there and make it a really big deal that he's laying down. And as you can see, he's starting to offer it. He's getting the idea now. So next up is, can we get that same thing without the bed? And we can. He's doing wonderful. Here you'll see just a little bit of regression, and this is very normal. So I have switched it up to where I'm trying to lure him back into a down again. And if you will listen, you can hear every time he picks his butt up, I'm starting to tell him, and then getting him back into a sit and starting again, just so he has clarity on the fact that I want to keep his butt down. I just also want him to move his front end down as well. And he gets a little bit distracted here, so this is just normal for a dog who's kind of learning to work with you and everything. He's hearing something outside the building, and so he's wanting to go and check that out. And I'm leaving this all in here because this is just part of the process.
No.
So I think there's just a good example of showing clarity for the dog of like, no, I don't want you staring over there at whatever it is you're hearing outside the building. And then lots of praise for when he decides to engage back with me and actually does the down again.
Down. Yes. Wow.
And you can kind of see the momentum. He's starting to get pretty good at going and getting a treat and then coming back and doing a down. I get a little bit concerned here or confused because I noticed there was some blood spatter on the wall, but it's actually from his tail. He has a little bit of a happy tail situation going on now where, like even at his owner's house, he would whack his tail on the hallway and then cause it to be a little bit bloody. So it's nothing to be too concerned about, and it is something I address later on after our session was over. But he is just fine, and it's just from his tail. But you can see I was very confused and trying to figure it out there for a minute. And you can see he's starting to offer that down. That's what we like to see, is when they're like, oh yeah, this is the thing that was getting me reinforced before.
Good boy. No, that's a good boy. Yes. Good. Oh. Yes. Yes. Yeah, you're good. Yes. Down. Yes. Wow, buddy. Down. Yes. That's a boy. Down. Yes. Good boy. Down. Yes. Down. Yes. Wow. Okay.
And this was our first attempt to move the down off of the place cot and just onto the flat ground. And so at first I'm taking just even him putting his elbows down and leaving his butt up, as long as he is starting to work towards that down position.
Yes. Wow, buddy.
And once he settles in, and you'll see like over the next couple of reps, once he really starts to settle in, then his butt will start being more relaxed and he'll kind of start laying all the way down.
Yes.
And my phone cut off. My storage was full, so I had to delete some stuff and then continue on with the session. And honestly, that little break while I was deleting stuff was very good for him. As you can see, he is popping right down into that down now, and he's much more relaxed. So sometimes I think taking a break, giving your dog a second to process everything that you've been working on with them does them a whole lot of good. And as you'll notice, I will toss treats away every now and then, and that's just to kind of give him a reset. And it also gives me a good idea about how the dog is feeling. So if they run right back to me and are ready to work, that lets me know they're in a very good headspace and want to continue working. If they are slow to return to me, then that gives me info on how they're feeling about the training session as well. But overall, Leon did very good today. He is a super happy, energetic dog, and I am very, very proud of him and his progress so far.
Yes. Down. Good. Yes. Yes. Down. Good. Yes. Yes. Okay. Down. Good.
again, this is just the beginning, so this stuff will just get better and better. I'm not looking for perfection here today. I'm looking for a willing attitude, and does he get the idea and the concept of the behavior that he's trying to learn. Meet Leon. This silly boy did not want to go into a down, as you can see. Check out our YouTube. There's a link posted above where you can see the full video of all the things that we tried to eventually help Leon learn to do a down.